Dekaron has a level 200 jump event. You decide, hey, this looks like a great time to jump into the game. You load up the website, download the game, and create yourself a brand new level 200 jump character. Then you realize, well, crap, I have no idea what I should be doing. Then you come up with a fantastic idea. Who's that nerd that makes all the Dekaron videos again? Mr. RS, MoserRS? No, MoserRS. You search up MoserRS, and that brings you to this video. Well, hey, good news. I'm here to help, even though you couldn't remember my name. Before we start, I want to make three things very clear. One, I do not spend money on this game. My perspective is always going to be from a free-to-play point of view. Two, I'm a busy guy. I'm very passionate about my career and about my family. As a result, I only play the game maybe 1 to 2 hours a day max. If I'm lucky, I'm going to be honest, a lot of days I don't play at all. Because of this, I mostly focus on solo content in the game, as I do not have time to coordinate with other players. 3. If you are an experienced player watching this, I need you to do me a favor. After watching the video, I want you to go down to the comments and say, hey, MoserRS has no idea what he's talking about. LoserRS forgot this, and that. Because guess what? If you don't help other players, the server is going to be as empty as the Grand Canyon. Anyway, let's jump into it. So the first thing you're going to need to do, and this is going to seem a bit silly, but we need to go ahead and we need to open up all these packages that you were given, right? And the main reason I want to show you this is because you're going to be opening up your weapon. So in this case, I'm going to make a staff summy, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Elite Heffron staff. And the reason I'm showing you this is because a lot of people don't realize the first thing you need to do is distribute your stats so you can equip your weapon. So you're going to press C, you're going to open up your stat window, and you're going to go to your weapon, and you are going to give it the required stats on here. In this case, I need 94 strength and 464 spirit. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go here, and we're going to hit apply. So now I can equip my free weapon that was given to me. So this is absolutely the first thing you need to do. Now you might be asking, what do I need to do with my extra stat points? Everyone has a different opinion on this. Personally, I think you get enough HP from other items in the game now that it's better to just go full whatever your stat is for your weapon. So in this case, I would just put everything into spirit. However, if you are worried about survivability, you could always get... you could also put some into heal too, maybe like 100 heal, the rest into spirit, something like that. Keep in mind you do get one free stat reset, so you can change that later if you need to. Okay, now you did get some other items here as well, so you're going to want to open these up. So normal pet egg, this is going to be important for picking up your items, so you're going to open that, you're going to equip it. Your Holy Water 15 day, you're going to go ahead and you're going to activate that. That'll allow you some premium abilities such as teleporting. You get yourself a free costume, so you're going to use that free 30-day costume. This has a bunch of really good stats, so you don't have to worry about your crest costume right off the bat. So you're going to go ahead, you do get a crest costume, but move that over and go ahead and put your temporary costume in for now, because that's going to be the most important. You get a free 700-day amulet that will help you level, so you're going to equip that. You get yourself a Perpetus. Make sure you pick the stat that your character uses. So in this case, I'm doing a staff summy, so my Spirit Perpetus is going to go right here. So I'm going to equip that. And you get an Ascendant Decaline Ring. That is also going to go for your accessories. Now, you do get yourself a free Gold Dragon Scale Belt, which is great. However, for the meantime, you're going to use the Timed Aquanic Belt plus 10, just because it's better. You do get 2 Sheens for your accessories, but you get your Garnet Earring here, which is going to be better as well. So we're going to throw that up there. We're going to go here, and we're going to open up our next package, and this is going to give us an extra Traveler's Backpack, which is going to give us another slot, which is important. And then in here, you are also going to get yourself a 1,000% 7-day box, and you're going to get yourself a dungeon ticket selection box. Now, we're already using the 700% one here, so I don't think I'm going to open the 7-day one yet. And actually, this is kind of stupid. If you look at this, this deletes in 7 days, and this deletes in 15 days. So now that I'm doing this, you probably should wait to open this. But anyway, I can't do anything about it now. And then the 10 selection box doesn't get deleted. Okay, so there we go. We got our items. We got everything equipped that is given to us right off the bat. So next up, I think the most important thing to do is to go and unlock your Meisters. For unlocking your Meisters, obviously you're going to need to build your character. I'm not going to go over how to build the staff summary in this video. I have a bunch of class guides on my channel that you can check out. If you can't find one, you can always hop in my Discord and ask some questions there. Anyway, in order to start the Meister quest, you're going to go to Ardeka, which is the map that you're already on. You're going to head over to the corner here, and go into the closed dimensional door and go to server 1 or server 2, doesn't really matter. From there, you're going to run over to this area right over here, and you're going to talk to Master Nar and do the requirement of the Meister. Now, I do have a guide for this up on my channel. It's a bit outdated because it's old, but it does still cover most of the main parts when it comes to unlocking your Meisters. Now, once you've unlocked your Meisters, you need to work on upgrading them. Your Meister skills are extremely important. They are some of your hardest hitting skills in the game. Unfortunately, because UbiFun hates new players, they removed the best way to upgrade the Meisters, which was Dragon's Nest, which may come back as an event, but currently isn't in the game. However, I do have an alternative option for how to upgrade your Meisters, and that involves farming Nair Scrolls and then updating them here over... yeah, this guy right here, the exchange shop. Here's where you can exchange Nair Scrolls for skill books. I will put that guide up on the screen, and you guys can check that out. Other than that, though, you're just going to have to buy Nair Scrolls or farm them yourself. Now, once you've unlocked your Meisters, I want to stop you for just a minute here, because we need to talk about gear and accessories before we go any further. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reference you guys to some guides on my channel. Some of these guides are going to cover your costume, some of the guides are going to cover your accessories, but these are all going to be important to watch and consider as you move forward. With your jump character, the biggest thing that you're going to want to be doing is you're going to be wanting to take all the timed items that were given to you, and you want to try to farm or get permanent versions of that. So, for example, your Dekaron ring is timed, right? Well, you can go ahead and you can farm yourself a permanent version of that. Now, to farm yourself a permanent version of that, I have a guide on my channel. You can go ahead and you can check that out. Same thing with farming your permanent Perpetus. I would also recommend that. When you look at my guide on accessories and stuff there, you can go ahead and you can figure out what other accessories you want to be putting in these slots. I would recommend maybe saving up some dill and getting yourself a spooklet or a fallen sailor's ring. All of those are good choices when going on there. You're going to want to upgrade these to immortality, jade bracelets, and then eventually I can't remember the name of it, but the level 170 ones, the live long jade bracelets or whatever. Oh god, I'm feeling really stupid right now. But you're going to want to upgrade those. There's better wing options in the agency. You can get yourself stuff beyond +7, so +10, stuff like that. And now most of this is going to come down to you saving up dill and then purchasing these items in the agency. And that is where the later half of this video is going to be important, because I'm going to talk about the daily dungeons that I recommend doing and the content that you should be taking advantage of to make yourself money, and in order what you can do in order to get these upgrades that you want for your character. Two other important upgrades for your character that you need to be considering at this point are unlocking your Trans 3 ability. That quest line starts right here at Dedi and Materia. I have a guide for that. I'll put that up on the screen. And then also unlocking your Grandmeister skill, since you are level 200. I do not have a guide for the Grandmeister skill line, but I do have a video on when I got it, like 3 years ago or something like that. So I'll throw that video up on the screen. You have to scroll through a little bit, but I do show how to do the quest line in that video as well. Maybe I'll work on a guide for that, so you guys can be doing that in the future. You can tell by this point, this guide is going to be far from perfect. However, I'm just trying to do a quick overview for players who just don't know what to do. So I feel like I covered a decent amount of what to start with. Now, I just want to jump into some of the content that I think you guys should be taking advantage of in the game. Again, this is coming from more of a solo player perspective, so I'm not going to be talking about things like Deadfront and Tower and Mansion, because for me personally, those pieces of content just aren't viable for me because of my time constraints. So yeah, this is going to go quick, but I am just going to run down the list here. First up, we have Crespo Abyss, both the hard mode and the normal mode. This dungeon can be found in Crespo Abyss from the Crespo map. Again, that's our Deca, Crespo Abyss. It's a DK server, and the map, Karen's Fragments, is right in the middle there. You're going to do the hard version and the normal version 3 times a day. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, you just said we're doing solo content. Well, first off, it is possible to solo these dungeons, but a lot of people are running these dungeons, especially when jump events are going on. Basically, all you have to do is run there and say that you want more people to run CA in the match chat, and people will flock to you and you'll be able to run this. I have never had trouble getting a party for this dungeon. The hard mode I recommend doing with people just because it's a little bit challenging to do on your own, especially when you're new, but the normal version can definitely be ran on your own. Now, while this dungeon is not used for drops, it does give you rank, and rank is very important in the game. As you get higher ranks, you get more passives, you get more skill points, and you get more stat points. All of those are extremely important, so even though you're not directly getting money from this dungeon, ranks are great. And unless you're going to do DK Square and get one shot by tryhards, I recommend doing Crespo Abyss. Next up, we have Norak Secret Arena and Norak Cave. This dungeon is not good experience, however, it does drop one item that I think is very important, and that is the Cardia. It drops most of your runs. You can do this twice a day without super passes. The Cardia is worth a decent amount. Slash is used to make the best PvE earring in the game, the Majestic Sapphire earring. So I recommend doing this twice a day. It's AFK. If anything, you can just sell the Cardia for a little bit of money, and that'll help you start saving up for some of the items that you need. Moving on to the Colosseum solo dungeon. This dungeon is located in the Colosseum map, which you get to through our Deca. And this dungeon gives okay experience. It gives rank points, which, as we mentioned earlier, are very important. And it can drop champion tokens. And champion tokens are useful for upgrading your Jade bracelets. Slash, you can use them to sell and make money, like I mentioned. Again, doing these solo dungeons running around, it's just about getting these items that you can set up and you can sell that will help you get the items that you need in the long run. If you get strong enough, there is a party version of this dungeon as well. However, as a new jump character, you're probably not going to be able to complete this unless you also make some alts, so you can have up to 3 characters in it. However, this one has a higher drop rate on the champion tokens and drops a lot of other good stuff too, such as your Magic Stone supply box, Disaster Stone supply box, which can be exchanged for some pretty good items that are actually worth a lot. So that's another great way to make money. You can also get fully upgraded bracelets in this dungeon. It's a pretty low drop rate, but if you get lucky, you can make some serious money from this. Like I said, though, you definitely need to be getting pretty strong in order to complete this. Slash, you need to at least have 2 other alts, so you can run 3 characters in there, probably using like 1 character as a signal. Up next, we have my favorite solo dungeon, which is the Karen's Transport solo dungeon. This dungeon is not terribly hard. With the jump character, you should be able to complete this. You can run it once a day without super passes. Again, if you have multiple accounts, you can run it multiple times a day on those different accounts. The notable drops here are the Nostalgic Pirate Coin, Shining Cardia, a Synced Sailor Ring, and the Fallen Sailor Ring. All of these can be sold for pretty good prices on the market. Slash are used for upgrading and getting accessories that you need. Again, the Majestic Sapphire earring uses the Pirate Coins and the Shining Cardia, and the Fallen Sailor Ring is actually a pretty nice in-slot item when you're first starting off the game. But this is definitely one that I recommend doing. It gives okay experience as well. Experience-wise, I really need to mention the Red Hole event as well, which happens in Matera. Go to Matera while the Red Hole event is happening. You can see those little blinking dots up in the right corner there. You can run in. You can search for a party using the recruit function. There's pretty much always some parties doing this. It's better to get in a party because more kills equals more experience. Basically, a ton of monsters spawn around these red holes, and you just get lots of experience. This is a great time to use experience scrolls and XP boosting items. This event is triggered by a certain number of kills on the Matera map. It just depends on how active it is. Right now, there's an event going on where it happens twice as often, so it's a good time to take advantage of that. But I would be dumb not to mention it. It is very good experience, and it is something to keep an eye out for. The last dungeon I want to mention is Scream Cave. This dungeon I would really recommend doing as well. It is located in Elenome from Valley Rift, so Ardeca, Valley Rift, Alanome, and it can be completed up to 3 times a day, more if you have more tickets. It gives really good experience. It's a good time to be using experience, scrolls, etc. You can either just fight through the monsters and then relog and then fight through the monsters again, or you can fight through the boss at the end. If you do complete the boss at the end, you can get drops like the Sung Wukong costume and the red monkey earrings and some decent crests as well. I'll be honest, most of the time I just use this dungeon for experience, so I don't end up fighting the boss. If you are mostly going for experience, like I said, skip the boss. You can actually complete the dungeon 6 times in 30 minutes, which is the duration of an experience scroll, if you haven't figured that out. 3 free times a day, and if you have some tickets from events, such as from your jump character box, that would be a really good place to be using it. So the last thing I want to touch on is where you should be AFKing with your free holy water. The best place is Arcadia Polluted, but that does require Arcadia protections, which I think you get some from the level up packages and from your characters. But if you don't have the Arcadia protections, you have to pay for those in the D shop. Otherwise, I actually recommend hanging out in Matera by the red holes, because even though you're not going to get a ton of experience from the monsters themselves, as long as the red holes are triggering, you actually get a decent amount of experience from that. And that you'll be doing if you have holy water. Again, since I don't spend any money in the game, I actually don't have holy water very often. I focus most of the experience from Scream Cave, which has worked pretty good for me, given that I've only been playing actively for a little bit here again. Gotten a couple levels. I'm not going to get anywhere super fast, but, you know, slow and steady or something like that. Anyway, those are my recommendations. On both those maps, you can get items like your Matera Spirit Pieces, Insanities, Angers, Gemstones, Rank Up Coins, Fortress Vouchers, Mavericks, R-Gates, and all that good stuff, which you can sell on the agency to help make money to unlock the gear that you want to be getting. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this guide. I am sure that I forgot like a million things and didn't include a ton of stuff, so I would really appreciate it if people would include some of their suggestions down in the comments as well. I did what I could with the time I had, and I really hope you guys appreciate it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions or suggestions, as always, you can leave them in the comments. And until next time, take care.